As the mayor of the town of Clayton, I'd like to call this town council meeting to order. Welcome everybody for joining us this evening. I ask that you now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Most gracious and heavenly Father, we pause to give you thanks for the many blessings of this day. And we ask, Lord, now that you be with us as we proceed with the business for the town of Clayton. For it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Are there any adjustments to the agenda?
Remove item 5A, the varsity football team recognition. That'll come to you sometime in January, I believe. And also, the town attorney has something for you.
Yeah, I sent an email this afternoon that changes some of the language in the budget amendment, item 3A. It's on the consent agenda. The change was to make the language in the amendment consistent with the language in the statute that provided the grant.
All right. Are there any others? All right. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adopt or adjust the agenda.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Up next is your consent agenda.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the consent agenda as presented. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Up next will be the Clayton Civitan Mighty Comets 2025 EWFL Super Bowl champion and Clayton Civitan cheerleaders recognition. And I'd like to give the floor to Councilmember Porter Casey.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. First off, what we want to do is just want to comment and compliment everybody. Then we'd like to get the coach, the second-time winning coach, up to say a few words, and then we'd like to get all the athletes, the assistant coaches, and the cheerleaders up. But first off, I want to say congratulations to the Clayton Mini Mites for not only one but a second year in a row of winning the East Wake Football League Championship, going 10-0. It's a great job. Great job to the players, to the families, the parents, and the coaches. Between you all and the Clayton High School football team, you are really making Clayton a football program, putting Clayton on the map in football. I appreciate what you all do. I appreciate the Civitan. This is definitely an institutional program that has been in Clayton for many, many years. A lot of the coaches, a lot of the parents, their kids also are playing football. They played it when they were younger, and just want to thank everybody for what they've done. Clayton's really proud of you. Keep it up. And now I'd like to call the Justin Calhoun, the second-time winning football coach, up if he has a few words to say. And please bring that trophy. And then after he does, then we.
All right, thank you, Councilman Casey. I appreciate that recognition, and thank you all for having us here to recognize this awesome achievement today. Really means a lot to me personally. I'm born and raised in Clayton. I played in the program just like Porter said. And so we try to teach these boys the importance, not just of football, of discipline, but what it means to be a part of community. And youth football is one of the last remaining youth sports that's truly about community still. And that's what we really try to instill in these boys. And so thankful for you all. Appreciate the Clayton Civitan Club, our sponsor. They've been a vital part of this community for many, many years, helping out youth sports, highly involved in the Special Olympics. So we really appreciate all of their support. Lastly, just want to thank this team. It was an awesome group of boys, awesome group of parents, an awesome group of cheerleaders. And there's 38 kids on this team, and that's a lot. It's a lot to manage. That's a lot of kids. But we do things the right way in Clayton. Every kid, all 38, were a key contributor to the team. Everyone started and played on this team all year long. We're going against teams that don't do that. They care more about winning. We care about both. We care about winning, but we also care about doing it the right way. So I'm extremely proud of these boys, extremely proud of this program, and truly honored for this recognition. So thank you all.
Awesome, thank you. I think if we could get all of our cheerleaders and our ball players and our coaches to come up front and face that way, we're going to get a picture. And yeah, come on back. And I think, council, we can just stand. And council, I think we can just stand behind them.
And show your rings too. I want to see those rings. Let's see those rings. Yeah. There you go.
There you go. You know, Jasmine takes the best photos, so she's just gonna have to send them to all of us. There you go.
One for the town, guys. Big smile. Rings.
Put your rings up.
Rings up.
Thank you.
Hey, do you know if Aiden went somewhere in our house?
I know, right? I think it's cool that they with their rings, right? And the one kid had two. That was so awesome.
They win again.
Well, third time's a charm, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, up next will be public hearings. It is the fiscal year 26 comprehensive list of fees, amendment number 1, public hearing, and I'll turn it over to Todd. Yes, thank you, sir. Heidi, thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, you gotta follow that up with this. That was awesome.
That's a hard act.
Good
to follow.
evening, Mayor, members of council, Todd Melton, Budget Manager. come to you tonight with a few recommended changes to our comprehensive list of fees. Our comprehensive list of fees, as a reminder to folks out there listening, it's sort of our inventory of all the different fees and charges that the town assesses for things like services, permits, applications, programs, rental fees in some cases, things like that. So just jumping ahead into this here. When I presented this to you all at the work session on the 1st, we had 4 service areas. Just an update for tonight. We've moved one of those service areas to next month, community development. There's some extra noticing requirements that we need to make sure we can get ahead, get accomplished before we get to the council meeting. So we're giving our staff a little bit of extra time to make sure those notices are performed appropriately. So we'll come back to you in January for amendment number 2 to the fees. So tonight we're going to talk about fire department, parks and rec, and police department. The fees are several different kinds of adjustments. It's not, we have a few new fees. We have some clarifying language. I can kind of give you a little bit more specifics on those, on the clarifying language when we get to them. We have a couple fee adjustments, and we removed one fee this month. Start with fire department first. The fire department back in May at a work session, we came to you folks, the fire department did, about some requirements, some inspections that we were required to provide. Now we are adding fees to recover costs for those services at this point. So we hadn't been collecting fees up to this point. So that sort of encompasses all the different types of fees here. We have inspection fees, plan review, and a couple of permit fees. Specific North Carolina Fire Protection Code requirements are outlined there. And, oh yeah, note that these are the fees that we talked about on the May 5th work session. Police Department, we have one new fee. This is pending adoption of the ordinance that's coming up later this meeting. Golf cart registration. It's the only thing we have, the only change we have for police department. Parks and Rec, we have some facility rentals that we just added a little bit of clarifying language for fee adjustment for a basketball court rental and baseball field rental, a basketball court at Clayton High School, baseball field rental at East Clayton Community Park. And then some new fees, the fees that we haven't had available before, the ability to rent the new bocce court and shuffleboard courts. And just as a reminder, we have this tool on the web. You can navigate there. You can search for it. Google search will pull this up really easily. Comprehensive list of fees tool is here. You see at the bottom of this page, there's a couple search boxes. You can filter by department, but you can also search in the search box. Our communications team built this tool for us back in the earlier part of the year. It's amazing if you're looking for something really specific. A good example might be a pool inspections. If you're installing a pool in your backyard, there's an inspection that goes along with that. You can just start typing pool in this search box, and it'll immediately bring up only the fees that have the word pool in it. It's a really good search tool. You can also print the list to a PDF if you'd rather do that. And then just we're recommending the adoption of this ordinance, and the main reason being that any fees that were adjusted based on recovering our costs for these services, along with the other verbal adjustments and things like that. Any questions?
Any questions for staff? Hearing none, this has been noted as a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this, please step forward and state your name for the record. No one wishing to speak, I'll close the public hearing and turn it over to council for their discussion.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion for the adoption of ordinance 2025-12-06.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the adoption of ordinance 2025-12-06. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Don. Up next under old business will be the golf cart ordinance review.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor. Sorry. Members of the council, I'm here tonight seeking your approval of ordinance number 2025-12-07. This is the first golf cart ordinance for the town. As I have discussed with you in previous work sessions, back this summer, we held a meeting with the Homeowners Association and some residents of the Glen Laurel subdivision. As most of you know, that is a golf course community. We had had a number of complaints in my tenure with the police department, and it even goes beyond me, but for the past 5 years, we've had issues with golf carts on public streets. And we met and kind of heard both sides of the pros and the cons, and we were able to give our opinions on some issues we've had. And we were asked by you all to see if we could come up with an ordinance that would allow golf carts to be on the streets only in the subdivision. So Lieutenant McQuire, I asked him to research some other municipalities and help me get something on paper for you to look at. After some tweaking back and forth, we presented the first draft of the ordinance to you back in the summer. After you asked me to proceed further, I sent it to the town attorney, who also reviewed it. And at the last work session, I think we sat down and laid it out and kind of explained to you how this would work. So I won't get back into all that unless you have a specific question. We're looking to start this program in January of 2026. It will be a 3 calendar year increment as far as registration goes. We just got these in. I didn't have these when we met before, but these are the permit stickers that will be placed on the golf cart. And there's a permit number that will interact with our database where the registrations are kept. These are reflective, so you can see them at night. So when our officers are out there and they see a golf cart on the road that does not have one of these, then they can take whatever appropriate action they need to take. And also, when they see this, we will be able to match that permit number up to the register of that golf cart. That's pretty much it, unless you have any additional questions, but I'm asking for your adoption of this ordinance this evening.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Any questions or comments for the chief? All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-12-07.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the adoption of ordinance 2025-12-07. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Up next will be the update to the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 30, 31, 32, and 36.
Okay, Mayor and Council. This is discussing our Code of Ordinance updates, Chapter 30, 31, 32, and 36. I do want to preface and say that these changes were presented and thoroughly discussed at the November 10th council retreat. They went on the agenda for the December 1st meeting, where all the red line documents were included in the agenda, and council had 5 days to review these documents. The red line documents were also attached to this December 11th agenda. So why we are updating? When Town Manager Capola was sworn in, it was part of his, one of his goals to review all of the ordinances. Some of these ordinances had not been adopted since 1970. Implementation began with the clerk's office in late 2022 and has been ongoing. Several provisions reflect legacy practices and require alignment with current operations and modernization. And the updates ensure consistency with today's policies, procedures, and governance standards. And I think it's important to note that any ordinance adopted by a municipality is dictated by and subject to state law. The General Assembly establishes the legal framework within which municipalities operate, and local ordinances must align with and not conflict with those laws. So recent updates, I haven't listed here, but they really began in 2022. 2025, we had a couple, and then, of course, we had our large one, the Unified Development Code in 2023. So our focus 30, 31, 32, and 36. Chapter 30, this just added language allowing work sessions to be recognized, and it revised the advisory board references to align with the town's present advisory board structure. And I do want to speak on, that's the next step, sorry. So chapter 31, there were no major revisions with this chapter because it already aligns with the town charter and statutes. So chapter 32, this was our largest revision. It has to do with our departments and boards. They were referred to as committees, which we don't refer to those as committees anymore, they're boards. It just added language, planning board and board of adjustment to refer to the UDO. And we decided to just remove most of the language regarding the advisory boards and refer to our bylaws. And we did that because every time we have to update our code of ordinances, there's a fee involved. And with the bylaws, they're still approved by council. So we just refer to the bylaws in the code of ordinances. That way, if we have a change, we can still adopt the bylaws. You guys update the bylaws, council adopts them, but we don't have that fee associated with having to change the code of ordinances each time. Chapter 36 updates conflict of interest standards and adds reference to our adopted code of ethics, which we adopted in 2010, and our social media best practices and guidelines policy, which was adopted at the November 17th meeting. So our next steps are updates require coordinated review across multiple departments and legal stakeholders, and the clerk's office will continue to designate chapters to key staff and departments in a prioritized phased approach. So I just want to reiterate that this has been an ongoing process since 2022. It's a slow process. It takes a lot of research, review, delegation, checking state statutes and all that. So it'll take some time, but you'll see more of these come across.
Awesome. Thank you. Any questions for the clerk?
There were a few issues here that I wanted to ask as far as what these updates were actually addressing. I think it was chapter 30. There is a provision to strike annually from one of the provisions. And then there is also a change to some wording about will and may later on. And I was just wondering what these were addressing, what issues these were specifically intended to address.
Do you have the specific?
Sorry, one.
Y'all, I need both of you to get into the microphone because I'm not sure
I'm
if sound
sorry.
is picking up. No, thank you. You're fine.
One moment. Looking red lines. Oh, yes. So under section 30.01, appointments made by town council, striking annually. And then also,
And I think when you refer, if I'm not mistaken, does that refer to the town clerk and attorney being appointed annually?
Yes.
And we don't do that. We don't have a set time that we have to appoint the town clerk. It's just at the pleasure of the council.
okay. So my understanding was that this would provide for yearly review. Is that not?
We do yearly evaluations, but we don't have to appoint the town clerk, town manager, and town attorney yearly.
And then the other one was section 30.20, disposition of complaints and petitions, changing will to may. What specifically was that intended to address?
That was just housekeeping language update. I did a lot of research with other municipalities, and I followed suit with most of the other language that had been updated through other municipalities. So I did the research on that and just updated the language just to modernize it.
I think those were my questions.
Okay. Any other questions?
I got one quick one, just to clarify what you were just saying about those two. And I'm assuming it's most of them. What you did was research best practices in other communities?
Correct.
Just to clarify the changes in the language we put in?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All right, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion.
Ms. Archer.
Before I do so,
-1203 and 2025-1203 and 2025-12-04. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
No.
Motion carries. Up next is the Clayton NC42 boating access agreement.
Good evening. Thank you for having me tonight, council, mayor, everybody. Also with me tonight is Austin Cross from Johnson County Parks and Open Space Program. He's the grants coordinator. I should have. So back on November 3rd, this is an update to that where I shared about the possibility of a collaboration on a boating and fishing area near East Clayton Elementary School. We come to terms, I guess you could say, with the county on kind of what our role would be in that. And this will allow them to move forward. Once we have an agreement, everything's signed, this will allow them to move forward with the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Division to build the actual dock and ramp. So just real quick to remind everybody, our master plan, which was adopted about a year ago at this time, just a lot of the emphasis of that plan was access to water blueway system, education around the water, more amenities that we don't currently have, promoting health and wellness. All those things were part of that master plan. So I wanted to emphasize that again. And to highlight that property, it's owned by the county. It's not in the town limits. And again, North Carolina Wildlife Commission would design and construct the boating access. That includes a small ramp, small parking lot, and a fishing pier. And this ramp is for car top vessels, so kayaks, canoes, not for your big bass boat or anything like that, which probably won't make it far down the river anyway. Again, Wildlife Commission would design and construct the boating access area. Johnston County would fund it. They'd be responsible for any major repairs, sediment removal, border placement, shoreline stabilization, whereas us for the town, it'd be trash and mowing, or trash removal, litter pickup. And the one caveat is if there is an emergency that we would shut down, say our trails or anything, we would close the gate or reopen once a gate is installed, which is, I think, a possibility. It might not be a gate at first, but eventually there would be one. To highlight the area, this is kind of the project in a nutshell. So you can see right directly across from East Clayton Elementary School access is where vehicles are driving to. There's a parking lot as you come towards the bridge on 42. And also you can see where there's handicap parking or handicap accessible. There's a ramp, 12-foot wide ramp, and then there'd be a fishing pier. And I've got some pictures of where that would be. Actually, it's video, but pull one of these real quick. Sure. Oh, is that okay, Nathaniel? Should I not? Try again. And this is just drone footage of the area. You can kind of get a better look at what we'd would have access to. Technical difficulties, but you can see it's oh, there we go. I think you had it there. Right, go up. 20, right, one more. Yep. Try the fourth one. There we go. So this will, I think, kind of turn and you'll be able to see the area a little more in detail. Right there where you see the open, kind of sandy looking area where we could. That's part of the area right there. So, and it would move more to our right-hand side. Correct, Austin? So dock and ramp will be more off the screen right here, and that's kind of where it would come in. So.
And just for reference, that's a primary school I see back over there through the trees.
Yes, you can kind of see the roof to the tree over there. I mean, through the trees, yes, to the school. Yes. So really, what we're looking at is just to move forward, kind of get permission to sign the agreement. That way they can move forward with the construction, which is not like tomorrow, but soon, in the coming months. And we would be able to promote it as a amenity for our community, our citizens. And all it would take would be us litter pickup, trash, a little bit of maintenance here and there. So. Questions? So.
I have a question. So this site is going to have a trash can there? It's going to have a trash can?
Yes.
Okay. I heard you pick up trash, but I just want to make sure there's going to be a trash can there.
Yeah, we would have something to, essentially like what we have in our parks right now. So some.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. And then the other question is, are we going to have the ability to just kind of monitor the use of it or know how many people are actually using the facility, or is there a way to do that, or just?
I think in time, I'm not sure if right away. Is there any? Yeah.
Yeah, just curious. I mean, as a kid, I used to put in at 42. We would canoe all the way down to near the Brightleaf Packers off of 301, and it's just always something fun, entertaining to do. And I'm sure this will be making it a whole lot easier than how we used to have to do it. But I was excited to see it though, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's one thing I'd like to point out that was not mentioned. So for a number of years, fire department's been looking at emergency response for rescue, to have a place to launch. Currently, the guys have to walk their boats down and put them in at the river bridge. So this is something that's been being worked on for a number of years, a lot of history to it, but this is a benefit not only to Parks and Rec and the community that way, but for emergency services.
Absolutely.
This just feels like it's a no-brainer. It's a win-win all the way around. And our responsibility is going to be maintenance and keeping it up. I think it's a great idea.
And of course, it comes with adequate signage, right?
Absolutely.
Depicting that, this is, you can't bring your jet ski boat or your whatever motorboat, right?
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All right. Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
All right. I'll turn it over to council for their discussion.
I mean, I'm good with it. Is there just an adoption of the agreement? Make a motion, adoption of the Clayton NC 42 boating access agreement?
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the adoption of the Clayton NC 42 boating access agreement. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Last under old business will be the damage reimbursement policy updates.
Good evening, Mayor and Town Council. My name is Travis Jessup. I'm the Operations Manager for the Town of Clayton, presenting the damage reimbursement policy update. And I'm seeking your adoption of Resolution 2025-129. A little bit of background. The existing policy was last updated in 1998, and it no longer reflects the current costs, administrative practices, or industry standards. Repair billing processes were historically informal and lacked a consistent structure across departments. And recent utility strikes with all the fiber installation going on around town has highlighted the need for clear procedures and uniform cost recovery. The objective of the update is to modernize the policy and align with the current FEMA equipment rates, labor cost structures, and town operational practices. clarify billing procedures, recovery timelines, and departmental responsibilities. A summary of the changes. The equipment charges, as said, will follow the FEMA equipment rate structure. Labor charges will change from 1.5 times the hourly rate to 130% of actual hourly costs, including wages, benefits, and overhead. Material costs was 20%, and now will be billed at an actual cost plus 10% and a handling charge. The mobilization fee was a $500 flat rate, and it's going to change to a 10% of the total cost. Notification requirements were undefined. Now there'll be a written notice within 30 days of the utility strike. Invoicing procedures, they didn't really have a structure throughout the departments. They were different. You got different packages to seek reimbursements. All that now is going to be invoiced and issued repairs with a complete package cost. Contractor performed repairs. We have had instances where we've had to have contractors come in and repair the utility strikes. That was not addressed in the old policy, and we're addressing it in this one. A policy governance, there was no mechanism for updating policy without council review. This will allow a town manager or a designee, authorized designee, to modify the policy as needed. A key area that I'd like to bring up is, as of December 11th, we've recovered approximately $75,000 from damage reimbursements. After, we'd like to give props to Richard Livingston for doing a reimbursable tracking tool, which aligned with what strikes were hit, electrical lines, power lines, above ground, in ground, water sewer lines, services. And we are still going after approximately of $155,000 outstanding. So you have any questions?
Any questions or comments for staff?
I have a quick comment. I'm just happy to see that y'all are going after some of these challenges with a lot of this fiber installation in the community. I know it caused a little bit of havoc and some consternation with some of the people in the community, and appreciate y'all obviously realizing that and taking actions to kind of help mitigate that if any other future instances come up. Thank you.
Yep.
Just wanted to thank you for all the hard work and the organized way in which you're going about making this uniform and consistent. I think that's the only way to do that across the board. So great job.
Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-129.
Second.
We have a motion, a motion and a second for the adoption of Resolution 2025-129. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Any new business? Hearing none, I'll open the floor for public comment. Anyone wishing to speak, please step forward and state your name for the record.
Well, my name is Stephen Anderson. I live at 501 Steeplechase Boulevard in Clayton. I have a handout with some things I'm going to say. May I approach the clerk?
Yes.
I came this evening simply to speak against the golf cart ordinance that was previously approved. I was not here for its initial discussion back in August, but I was here for the work session on December 1st. I think that the ordinance itself is inconsistent and contradictory in some cases. The first thing that occurs to me is that there are no objectives or purposes stated for the ordinance. I know that at the December 1st meeting, that the only reason I heard was that there was a problem with underage driving. And I don't think that this ordinance really addresses that. We already have statutes on the books that would that attend to underage driving, and I think the enforcement can be resolved by enforcement of what we already have. Another main issue I had was that it goes further and goes to lengths to explain how the town is not encouraging use of golf carts on public roadways and does not take any responsibility, but yet this is exactly what this ordinance is going to do. There's some inconsistencies in language. In one place, they talk about public roads and roadways, and another place it talks about roadways and highways. And then I've listed 8 specific things. That's not comprehensive, but 8 specific things that this ordinance and questions might attend to if you're looking at modifying the ordinance that was. One of the main ones is the just putting forward an attestation by the owner that the golf cart would meet the requirements in there. This has been brought up as questions by the town council people beforehand, but it's left as instead of an in-person inspection, it should be an in-person inspection rather than just signing a piece of paper. There's inconsistencies. It says at one place that there's a DOT-approved windshield is part of the required equipment, and in another place it says if a decal can't be put on a windshield, it can be put on a bumper. You know, so it's for golf carts that cannot go over 20 miles per hour, but yet it doesn't talk about the requirements or the possibilities of lift kits, tire sizes, battery voltage changes that enable a golf cart to go over 20 miles per hour. And while an owner may not even realize this, I think an in-person inspection of these vehicles could discern that. Violations are listed as $50 unless the general statutes of the state allow local ordinances to identify a higher amount, not to exceed $500. I would point out to the council that the fine for littering is $100. This is more of a public safety issue. The trial period has been talked about at the council meetings, but I don't see that attended into this ordinance. I've heard in passing that maybe 6 months, might be a good one for to allow this to be tested, but I think that that's inadequate, and you're likely only to be accomplishing the first registrations by that time. My preference would be a 3-year trial period, like the length of the registrations in there. And if not that, then at least 1 year. I'd like to know what the ordinance is likely to wants to accomplish and what criteria would be used. Lastly, I'd suggest deleting the section about opening it up to other neighborhoods and subdivisions in Clayton. This might, it will present unnecessary expectations It might delay people from getting their golf carts actually licensed and be road worthy. And other neighborhoods don't have golf courses like Glen Laurel. I think this should specifically be listed just as Glen Laurel at this time. Those are some suggestions, and I hope you take it up to consider some modifications to this. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Anyone else? All right, no one else wishes to speak. I'll close public comment and turn it over to staff reports, beginning with the town manager, or the deputy town manager in this case.
I don't have any update from the manager, but I would like to address the Christmas parade. The staff's participation in that in the last few years, a lot of things have changed with not only the Christmas parade, but other special events. Police department, fire department, and all of operations and other town staff, I think have really stepped up to participate in what we used to call the legacy events. So I'm thankful that those guys are doing that, and just throw a hand out there and tell them thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, sir. Town attorney? Town clerk?
No report.
ELF Academy update.
Hold on, can I address one thing, other staff? Can I do that? Or am I ahead of myself?
You're ahead
Mayor
of
and
your-
council comments, I see it.
That's okay.
I will wait my turn.
Thank you.
Me again.
Senior ELF.
So I wanted to real quick talk about events that we've had going on in Parks and Recreation for the holidays. Big shout out, she couldn't be here tonight, but Lauren Lambert, our special events and marketing coordinator, she heads up these events and does an incredible job. Her job seems to come in waves with these events, and one's in the springtime, of course, with Easter egg hunts and everything then. So big shout out to her with all that she does. And also with our maintenance squad, Jimmy Bradley and those guys. They set up a lot of barricades you saw this weekend at the parade. They support all these events. So big kudos to them. And they're the ones that actually decorate Municipal Park. So right now, if you haven't seen that, it's quite a treat. So make sure you leave here tonight. It might be a little chilly, but walk around the park one time and see the lights. So ELF Academy we had back on December 6th, sold out in hours. That's the event that we have where I don't know if you saw, there was a video on Facebook with the event, about a minute and a half long, that shows how much fun the kids have. And the CYC, our Clayton Youth Council members, work all the stations at the event. The kids go around with a punch card, get certified as an ELF at the end of the event because they get all their punches done on their card. So really cool event there. Our CYC, headed up by Sean Quigley and Michelle Madsen, two of our programmers. We've got 50 or 60 kids, I think, in that right now, high school age kids that are learning leadership skills. They get together once a month. They have officers and everything with that group that kind of head up all these different plans for them to work events and sign up for things. They're doing a parents' night out coming up on Friday at the community center. They volunteer at all of our events and Journey League and everything else. So big kudos to our staff on that. Like I said, Municipal Park's all decorated now. We just had another event last Thursday that was ticketed, the Mary Municipal Express. We increased our trains from 1 to 2 this year, so got twice as many people in on the trains, still sold out in hours. And, it was very popular as you got to ride through all the stuff there. And we have one more this Thursday. The weather is iffy, so y'all do a little dance for us there that it won't rain. It will be warmer than today at least, but there's a free event this Thursday from 5:30 to 7:30, hot cocoa with Santa. The man in the red suit should be there. So free event, like I said, come on out. It'll be a good time. So thank y'all.
Thank you, Todd. Now we'll jump down to mayor and council comments, beginning with Ms. Anderson.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I just wanted to jump in and acknowledge what Deputy Town Manager Barbie said. As a Rotarian and somebody who's been at all those meetings and working with the police department and also helping line up the parade and doing those things, I think it was an outstanding event. This was the first time we've used that model, and a lot of work and time and effort and logistics went into planning it. And I think we have a few little improvements that need to be made, but overall, for a first event on a totally different route, I'd like to thank the chief and his staff and all the folks that Deputy Town Manager Barbie mentioned for making that work, because it couldn't have worked without that collaboration. So thank you so much. And to come off with an event with so few little tweaks that have to be made, I think it was a huge success.
It was definitely very, very, very well attended.
Very, very well attended, yes.
All right, thank you. Mr. Casey?
Oh, I had a few comments. First off, yeah, I thought the parade, the police and the volunteers did a really good job. I thought I was going to try to give candy away. It ended up being more of an exercise than actually handing candy out, but that's okay. So thank you for that. I also wanted to compliment the town, the staff, and the whole community for the pep rally that occurred last Thursday night for the CHS, the Clayton High School football team. It's a great event. It was an awesome experience to have that in your hometown, and then also being able to go to the football championship game Friday night. Earlier last week, my boss actually messaged me on Teams and asked me if I went to Clayton High School, and I said, "You dang right I went to Clayton High School." And he said, "Well, guess what? I went to Grimsley." So unfortunately, it didn't pan out like we hoped it did, but it was still a good performance. And again, I want to compliment everybody on the pep rally. Another thing I had, we also had a orientation last week for, I guess, a refresher / orientation for the new council members. I want to thank you for that. I know one of the things that we kind of talked about, and I'd like to maybe staff to consider and looking into, is maybe some technology with respect to some of the minutes taken. I use a device for my day job sometimes that's very helpful, and I know maybe that is something that could be considered. Maybe it can alleviate some of the strain that staff has to do. Other than that, those are my 2 comments, and I'm done.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Ms. Gretchen?
Yes, I got a few comments on this evening. First of all, I want to say well done. Great job for the parade. I really enjoyed myself, and I had some great positive feedback and a few concerns, but I want to say awesome job for the parade. I really like the idea about the boating access agreement. Awesome idea for that as well. And I want to commend the young gentleman for his comments, public comments. I want to invite anyone who wants to come out and share their thoughts and concerns. I appreciate you speaking up, sir, on tonight. But I also wanted just to give kudos out to the football team. I'm very proud of their efforts, and also to what they have done to encourage them to continue to lift up their head and just hang on in there. But these are a few words I want to share for the season that we're in today, and that is to encourage the town during this holiday season to remember the words about peace on earth, goodwill to men, and to count your blessings and embrace the joy of the season. And I just want to say to you all is to make sure you enjoy this Christmas season. Make sure you get closer to your family and your friends and know what you stand for. So I just want to say kudos to all of you. Enjoy your Merry Christmas. Enjoy your season. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Archer?
I would also like to thank everyone for the parade. That was amazing, and I won't beat a dead horse, but everything everyone has said up here completely applies. And then I wanted to thank Mr. Anderson tonight. We had some really good conversations, but I appreciate your comments and emails about the golf cart ordinance, your attention to detail, and your continuing to care and be concerned about these things is awesome. So really appreciate that. I've been involved quite a bit in the golf cart situation out there in the Glen Laurel neighborhood. So I did want to make sure that everybody realized that there have been meetings, as were mentioned, with the HOA and the neighborhood as a whole, multiple emails, multiple phone calls that we have taken to try to navigate this. And so I just wanted to make sure that people realize that in coming up with that ordinance, there is no black and white standard. The state law is quiet on this specific situation. There's a lot of state law on low-speed vehicles, which is not what we're talking about in this ordinance. So I just wanted to make sure that people realize that in this situation, it is up to each individual municipality to troubleshoot this and come up with a way to address it. It would be nice if there was just one consistent law out there, probably for my way of thinking, but there's just not. So it is our burden to spell out what works best locally. And so this ordinance is a reflection of that neighborhood input and trying to find a solution and clean up a situation that's basically been a long-standing problem or, bump in the road for this golf course community that's been there for a long time and operating golf carts for a long time. So many share your exact opinion, a lot of the concerns that you brought up, and there were people who had even, further issues. They wanted no golf carts at all. And then you had people on the other end of the argument who wanted nothing to change. They wanted no ordinance and they wanted it to kind of stay the same. So it was quite a bit to navigate, and where we landed here with this current ordinance is just what has seemed the most workable for this point in time. And so I just wanted you to understand and others to understand that this ordinance reflects our attempt to kind of navigate all of that. It wasn't as black and white as you might think. So there you go. Done talking.
No, great points. Everybody, great points. And I appreciate the input. I want to be the first one to go on record to say, can we please have more music at the Christmas parade? And I don't know how we do that, but let's put that on the list of things to discuss, because it's not Christmas without a bunch of Christmas music. I enjoyed it. I thought the event was fantastic. I'm so appreciative to town staff in collaboration with the Clayton Rotary Club to make it be as safe and successful as it can possibly be. I sat here tonight and I listened to all the comments, and this is our last meeting of this year. And when I sat here and I listened to comments and discussion and input all throughout the meeting, it's very reassuring to know that the Town of Clayton's Town Council is doing really good work. And I want to take the opportunity to welcome our newest council member once again. Amanda, congratulations, and we're happy that you're here. And I just want, when I think back over 2025 in the town of Clayton, it's been quite a remarkable year, and a lot of positive things have come out to help Clayton become more and for us to do more and all of that. And I think that has been something that is really going to forward the town of Clayton in the new year because of the multiple perspectives that we have sitting on this board. I want to thank everybody for all their hard work. We want to wish each of you a very Merry Christmas and a very prosperous and Happy New Year. It's still a blessing to know that the town of Clayton is a great place to live, work, and play. All right. Thank you. So with that being said, I think the next item on the agenda will be to go into a closed session, and I will need a motion to do so.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go into closed session to discuss the economic development opportunity. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, if you'd clear the room, please.
Trying to text Rich to see if he can get, he's got heat.
Yeah, there's.
Well, his unit went out last night. He called me, and
So don't fall apart.
so he's got a guy over there working on it right now.
You will not find a spot. Yeah. Eventually, you know, I'm saying, it's like right here about photos and, because I don't want to go down.
All right, is there anything else to come before this board? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody.